The ocean was endless that night. Beneath a velvet sky brushed with stars, the sea whispered softly, the same sea that carried countless dreams and countless dangers. Among those dreams sailed one that burned brighter than most, a boy with a straw hat and a grin wide enough to outshine the moon. His name was Monkey D. Luffy. He wasn't the strongest nor the smartest, but he had a heart so fearless that the world itself seemed to lean closer to hear him laugh. One by one, he'd gathered friends: Zoro, the swordsman; Nami, the navigator; Usopp, the storyteller; and Sanji, the cook, each with their own dream, each finding in Luffy a spark that made the impossible feel close enough to touch. They had braved the East Blue and declared to the sky that they would find the legendary treasure, the One Piece. Now their sails caught a new wind, the Grand Line. The Going Merry creaked through the mist. The sea here felt alive, shifting moods with every heartbeat. Snow fell in sunlight. Thunder cracked over calm waters. Nami studied the sky with growing awe. She whispered, "This isn't just another ocean. It's like the sea itself is alive." Luffy only grinned. Perfect. Soon they met a whale named Laboon, who smashed his head against a cliff again and again, mourning friends who'd never returned. Luffy's heart ached for him, so he challenged the whale to a friendly fight and left his mark upon Laboon's scars, promising they'd return. The whale's cries turned to laughter, echoing across the Twin Capes. From the lighthouse keeper Crocus, they learned the truth of the Grand Line. To survive, one needed a log post, a compass that pointed from island to island, following magnetic fields that danced through the sea. With it, they set sail toward a place called Whiskey Peak. The island welcomed them with music and wine. Townsfolk cheered, calling them heroes. Yet, in the moonlight, Zoro's eyes stayed sharp. He felt the wrongness in the smiles. When the village slept, the swordsman didn't. He fought through shadows and betrayal, cutting down bounty hunters who had planned to capture them for the Baroque Works organization. By dawn, Zoro stood alone among the fallen. Luffy, waking to the chaos, shouted, "Why'd you beat up everyone?" Zoro shrugged. They were going to kill us. And somehow, the captain's anger melted into laughter. Among the defeated were two spies, Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine, who turned out to be something more. Miss Wednesday was Princess Vivi of Alabasta, a desert kingdom tearing itself apart under secret manipulation. Behind that chaos lurked the mysterious Mr. Zero, one of the government-sanctioned warlords of the sea. His real name, Crocodile. Vivi begged for help. Luffy, smiling as always, simply said, "Sure, we're friends now." And so the Straw Hat's course was set toward a land of sand, secrets, and rebellion. The sea around them shifted again, calm one moment, storm-torn the next. Vivi explained Baroque Works, a web of numbered agents spreading lies through Alabasta, turning friend against friend. Crocodile posed as a hero, protecting towns while secretly feeding the flames of civil war. Their first encounter with his reach came through a mysterious woman riding a turtle in the middle of the sea. Her smile was gentle, her presence unsettling. "Call me Miss All Sunday," she said. She handed them a new eternal pose, a permanent compass to an island farther ahead, then vanished like mist. None of them yet knew that her true name was Nico Robin, and that she would one day change everything. Their log post soon pointed to a place called Little Garden, a prehistoric island where time itself seemed to have stopped. Dinosaurs thundered across green plains. Trees towered into the clouds. Luffy and Usopp raced into the jungle in delight. Well, Nami sighed, already dreading what would follow. They met two giants, Dory and Brogy, warriors from the distant land of Elbaf, who had been dueling each other every day for 100 years. Each fight ended in laughter, in respect, in the joy of battle shared between equals. Luffy was mesmerized. But Baroque works had come here, too. Agents Mr. 3 and Miss Goldenweek plotted to capture both the giants and the Straw Hats, using Mr. 3's wax powers to trap them in shining white prisons. One by one, friends were bound as the heat of a giant candle crept closer. Then came Luffy, blazing with fury. "Don't mess with my friends," he roared, shattering the wax with strength born from loyalty itself. The jungle burned with light, the giants cheered, and Baroque works fled in defeat. Before they departed, Dory and Brogy saluted them with laughter that shook the trees. "May your dreams never end, little warriors." As the Going Merry sailed onward, Vivi stared into the horizon. "We're getting closer," she whispered. "Please let there still be peace left to save." High above, a seagull carried the newest newspaper. Crocodile's name was printed in bold letters. Hero of Alabasta. The world still called him savior, but beneath those headlines, war was waiting.
Cold crept into the wind. Snow began to fall, soft and endless. The Grand Line had turned to winter, and before long, Nami collapsed with fever. Her breathing weakened, her skin burned. "We need a doctor," Vivi pleaded. Luffy stood at the bow, face set. "Then we'll find one." They reached a mountain island cloaked in white, Drum Island. Yet the villagers, scarred by years under a cruel king, Wapol, feared outsiders. Only one doctor remained, Dr. Kureha, who lived high atop Drum Mountain. Luffy carried Nami on his back and began to climb through storm and snow, refusing to stop. Sanji followed despite his own wounds. Hours passed. The blizzard howled. Finally, a castle appeared through the frost. Inside waited Dr. Kureha, sharp-eyed, spry, and over 100 years old, and beside her a timid reindeer wearing a pink hat. He spoke, hesitantly. His name was Tony Chopper, a reindeer who had eaten the human fruit. Kureha and Chopper worked through the night. By dawn, Nami was safe. The crew learned Chopper's story. Born different, rejected by both herd and humans, taken in by the foolish but kind Dr. Hirilut, who taught him that no one truly dies until they're forgotten. When Hirilut passed, Kureha raised Chopper in his stead, teaching him medicine and the pain of hope. When Wapol returned seeking his lost throne, Luffy and Chopper fought side by side defending the island and the dream Hirilut left behind. As cherry blossom powder burst over the snow-covered peaks, Chopper looked up at a sky painted pink and wept with joy. He had found a home and a crew.
With a new doctor aboard, the Going Merry turned toward heat once more. The air grew dry, the horizon golden. At last, Alabasta lay ahead. But first came chaos at sea. A marine ship under Captain Smoker spotted them, chasing the Merry into the sands. Smoker was relentless, a man of smoke and justice, yet even he could not match the unpredictable tides of the Grand Line. In the desert port of Nanahana, whispers of rebellion filled the air. Civilians starved, while bounty posters fluttered from cracked walls. Luffy, oblivious to tension, went hunting for food. Meanwhile, a young man cloaked in white sat quietly in a bar. When Smoker confronted him, the world itself seemed to still. He was Portgas D. Ace, Luffy's older brother. His smile carried the same warmth, his power the blazing opposite. Fire danced in his wake, and the Marines trembled. "Tell that idiot brother of mine," Ace said, grinning. "I'm proud he made it this far." The brothers met soon after, laughter ringing through the desert wind. Ace told Luffy of his pursuit of a man named Blackbeard and left behind a promise that someday they'd meet again under freer skies. The encounter was brief, but for Luffy, it was enough. Family had a way of lighting the darkest paths.
The journey inland was brutal. The desert stretched forever. dunes shifting, heat shimmering, mirages dancing. Sandstorms howled like beasts. Vivi guided them with quiet determination, her royal pride hidden beneath a traveler's cloak. "Alabasta's people are good," she said softly. "They've just been deceived." They met villages divided by rumor, saw rivers run dry, and learned of a group called the Rebel Army, led by Vivi's childhood friend, Koza. Each step closer to the capital made the truth heavier. The country was tearing itself apart. Baroque Works agents struck again. Assassins Mr. Four, Miss Merry Christmas, and Miss Doublefinger. But teamwork, trust, and Luffy's stubborn joy carried the Straw Hats through. When they reached Rain Base, Crocodile's stronghold, the trap was already waiting. The warlord welcomed them like guests, confident and smiling. His power, the sand fruit, let him dissolve into dust, blades, and storms. He imprisoned Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, and the rest beneath his casino in an iron cage. Water, the one thing that could harm him, was scarce. Then the unexpected happened. Miss All-Sunday reappeared. She freed them, revealing Crocodile's final plan to ignite war in the capital, Alabasta, and claim the throne in mid-chaos. Vivi wept in frustration. "If only I could stop them!" Luffy, bandaged but defiant, stood. "Then we will!"
They crossed the desert under a burning sun, pursued by Baroque Works agents, racing time itself. Every heartbeat brought war closer. At the city gates, the rebel army and royal guard faced one another, thousands ready to die for lies whispered by Crocodile. Luffy charged ahead alone, determined to confront the warlord once more. He burst into Crocodile's path, fists flying, sand swirling. But Crocodile's body turned to dust, his spear pierced Luffy's chest. He fell into the sand, lifeless. Vivi's scream carried on the wind. But the desert has its own miracles. Miss All-Sunday, Nico Robin, dragged his body to safety, pouring precious water into his mouth. The liquid soaked into his skin, burning the dryness away. Luffy gasped, eyes snapping open. "Round 2, he said, standing.
While chaos consumed Alubarna's streets, the Straw Hats each faced their own battles. Zoro fought the steel-hard assassin Mr. One, finding within himself the ability to cut even iron. Sanji dueled Miss Doublefinger, turning pain into dance. Usopp and Chopper stood their ground together, courage overcoming fear. And Vivi ran toward the palace, desperate to stop the fighting. Inside, Crocodile awaited her, calm as ever, spinning his golden hook. The truth he revealed shattered her heart. The war was already irreversible. Then Luffy burst through the roof. Their battle shook the palace, water against sand, flesh against stone. Luffy's attacks splashed through Crocodile's dry body, each strike louder than thunder. But Crocodile's mastery of the desert was immense. He hurled Luffy into the air, buried him beneath dunes, drained moisture from everything he touched. Still, Luffy laughed. "I'm not done yet." He soaked his fists in water, then blood, swinging until the Sandlord's body began to crack. Beneath the capital lay the true heart of Crocodile's plan, an ancient weapon rumored to destroy nations, Pluton. He sought it, as did Robin, the archaeologist who could read forbidden texts. But when Crocodile turned on her, calling her useless, Robin saw the emptiness of his dream. She had lived too long chasing dead histories. For the first time, she wanted to live. Luffy fought on, battered and breathless, as the palace began to collapse. Crocodile's final attack formed a giant sandstorm meant to swallow Alubarna whole. Luffy countered with everything he had left, one last punch soaked in determination and defiance. Gomu Gomu no Storm!
The fist struck, spinning Crocodile upward through the ceiling out into the sunlight. Sand exploded across the sky like shattered glass. The storm dispersed, and the desert, at last, was silent. Rain began to fall over Alabasta, the first true rain in years. Crowds dropped their weapons, looking up in disbelief. War faded into weeping relief. Vivi climbed the palace steps, her cloak heavy with water. Luffy lay unconscious nearby, smiling even in sleep. She looked out over her kingdom and whispered, "Thank you." Days later, as peace returned, the Straw Hats prepared to leave. Vivi stood at the harbor, torn between duty and friendship. "If I stay, I can help rebuild," she said, tears trembling. "But if I go with you—" Nami stepped forward, placing a finger to her lips. "We understand." When the ship pulled away, Vivi shouted one last thing across the waves. "I'll always be your friend." The crew, forbidden from replying aloud, lifted their left arms high, each marked with a small black X. It was their silent promise. "We'll meet again." The Going Merry drifted from the desert winds back into the open sea. Their numbers had quietly grown. Miss All Sunday, Nico Robin, had stowed aboard, asking to join. "I don't have anywhere else to go," she said simply. Luffy smiled. "Then stay." And just like that, the archaeologist became one of them. The world turned once more beneath their sails. The seas of the Grand Line stretched onward, skies brighter, hearts lighter. Each island behind them was a memory, each island ahead a mystery. Somewhere, new enemies stirred, and greater adventures waited. Skypiea, Water 7, Enies Lobby, and beyond. But for now, the night was gentle. The ship rocked softly, moonlight glinting off the water. Luffy snored, Zoro slept with his swords. Nami's maps lay half-finished beside a lamp. Chopper murmured in his dreams, tiny hooves twitching. Above them, the Jolly Roger fluttered, proud and free. The Grand Line whispered on, and the storyteller's voice faded with the sea's own lullaby. Sleep well, brave sailors. Tomorrow, the adventure continues.